Hi, GVA. Mr. Ruley here for today's edition of Storytime. Now, we're going to continue with a story I read earlier this year. It's called Frog and Toad All Year. And this one has a couple of different short stories in the book here, each having to do with a certain season. Now, I read the winter story earlier this year, and today I'm really excited to read you the spring story, probably my favorite one in this book. Now, one of the reasons I love this book so much, Frog and Toad, is because really I love the way it's written. It's very poetic. But the other thing I love about it is that it has to do with friendship. It's all about the friendship between Frog and Toad, and friendship is very valuable and very important. Now, this book was originally written in 1976. Now, before you make fun of how old the book is, realize that Mr. Ruley was born in 1976 as well, so I've had this book for a very, very long time, and it's my joy and pleasure to read to you Frog and Toad All Year. And the story we're going to start with today is called The Corner. Frog and Toad were caught in the rain. They ran to Frog's house. "I'm all wet," said Toad. "The day is spoiled." "Have some tea and cake," said Frog. "The rain will stop. If you stand near the stove, your clothes will soon be dry." "Well, I will tell you a story while we're waiting," said Frog. "Oh, good," said Toad. That's a good friend right there. "When I was small, not much bigger than a pollywog," said Frog, "my father said to me, 'Son, this is a cold gray day, but spring is just around the corner.' I wanted spring to come. I went out to find that corner. I walked down a path in the woods until I came to a corner. I went around the corner to see if spring was on the other side." So when he says spring is around the corner, does that mean literally right around the corner there? Feels like it sometimes. "And was it?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "There was only a pine tree, 3 pebbles, and some dry grass." I walked in the meadow. Soon I came to another corner. I went around the corner to see if spring was there. "Did you find it?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "There was only an old worm asleep on a tree stump." I walked along the river until I came to another corner. I went around the corner to look for spring. "Was it there?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "There was only some wet mud and a lizard who was chasing his tail." "Oh, you must have been tired," said Toad. "I was tired," said Frog, "and it started to rain." All things you see in the springtime. "Well, I went back home. When I got there," said Frog, "I found another corner. It was the corner of my house." "Well, did you go around it?" asked Toad. "I went around that corner too," said Frog. "Well, what did you see?" asked Toad. "I saw the sun coming out," said Frog. "I saw birds sitting and singing in a tree. I saw my mother and father working in their garden. I saw flowers in the garden." All symbols of spring. "You found it!" cried Toad. "Yes," said Frog. "I was very happy. I had found the corner that spring was just around." "Look, Frog," said Toad. "You were right. The rain has stopped." Frog and Toad hurried outside. They ran around the corner of Frog's house to make sure that spring had come again. All right, just a wonderful little springtime story there. Maybe spring isn't literally around a corner, but figuratively, spring is coming up real soon. And I hope you enjoy being outside and having some fun. You take good care, everybody. Bye now.